Hello people of YouTube, Mountbatten here with my ranking of the current 4 Tier 10 battleships in World of Warships. This obviously is heavily opinionated because it is my list. It does not mean that this is the definitive, this ship is the best or this ship is the worst list. Now, that being said, there are of course only 4 Tier 10 battleships in World of Warships as of January 29th, 2018. So, there's only one ship on this list that I honestly think is bad, and if you see my channel at all, you know what it is. So, that being said, let's get right into it. So, number 4 is, of course, the Conqueror. Now, by bad, I don't mean that, like, it's completely useless or anything. By bad, I mean it's overpowered. It's overpowered because the chance to fire on the 419s is 48%, and with the 419 guns you get 3 guns per turret. With 4 turrets, that's 12 guns in total, with a 48% fire chance for each shell fired, which means you're going to start a lot of fires in this ship. Which, if that was the only thing about it that was, you know, overpowered, okay, you know, you could just deal with it with its other weaknesses, but here's the thing, it only has like one really big weakness, because the Citadel is submerged and there's no way to pin it with any regularity or certainty. It has AA that rivals the other really AA powered ship, and then it has concealment that's really good for a battleship. I don't even have a concealment build on mine right now, and the detectability range by sea is 13.7 kilometers and by air is 14.1 kilometers. That is without the concealment captain skill. That's only with the concealment module and camo. And the weakness I was talking about a few seconds ago is the torpedo protection. It has a 30% torpedo protection damage reduction, which beats out the grosser curve first by, I think, 4%. So it's not the worst torpedo protection, but it's far from the best. It also doesn't get a spotter plane to spot torpedoes. So if you want to sink a Conqueror, you're going to have to convince one of your destroyers or cruisers or the carrier to just spam torpedoes at it until it sinks. Which will take a while, because the other OP element about it is the lull heal. It can repair almost 60% of its health back in 20 seconds. It can come back from the dead 4 times if you're running Superintendent and the Repair Party 2, because default only gets 2 heals, Superintendent gives you 3, Repair Party 2 gives you 4. So you can come back from the dead 4 times with the ship. So the main reason Conqueror's at the end of this list is because it's overpowered in my opinion, and you can just sit back, sling HE at maximum range. You don't really have to aim, because if you just hit it with HE, you're going to start a fire or 2 or even 3 in one salvo. It's ridiculously easy to do. That's why it's at the end of this list, because it's overpowered, it requires the least amount of skill to use, and therefore the least amount of fun in my opinion. Moving on to number 3 in this list, my list, is the Montana. Now, the Montana is essentially an Iowa with a 4th turret, and that's literally the simplest description and most accurate description of the Montana that I can give you. And I love Iowa, I love playing Iowa, so that's why I like Montana a lot. This is also my first Tier 10 ship, and it builds upon everything the Iowa has. It has a stronger AA suite. It has the exact same guns, just with another turret. Now, these are the smallest guns of the Tier 10 battleships, but they're still 16 inches, so small is a stretch. It has the same secondary armament as the Iowa, and after the Citadel got lowered, this allows Montana to show a little bit more ankle and bring that 3rd and 4th turret into use more often. So you're not just bow tanking on using half of your firepower the entire match. Now, what Montana does lose over Iowa is the speed and maneuverability. It has a bigger turning radius, and its top speed is only 30 knots instead of 33 knots. But still, overall, a very good ship. I enjoy playing it. You can just shred planes with this ship. I run the Dispersion mod instead of the AA Guns mod, since carriers at Tier 10 are pretty rare nowadays. But even without that AA mod, this ship still just chews up planes with an AA build captain. So moving on to number 2. You didn't expect that, did you? Some of you might have if you watch my channel often. Yamato. Now Yamato is all about her main guns, those 18-inch guns. You get 9 of them. However, because her sides are brittle, you're only going to be using the front 2. She has the highest citadel out of the Tier 10 battleships, and it's probably one of the easier ones to citadel if you're in another battleship. Anytime Yamato is showing her sides, you just aim for the citadel. You're probably going to get one. That is, of course, to balance the fact that you have 18-inch guns that don't care about bow armor, and you will get massive damage rolls off of other battleships with. To complement that, she has a pretty nice secondary suite. With a secondary build, you can get these up to 10 kilometers, and they will just chew up destroyers and cruisers. She also has a good AA. It's not fantastic or anything, but as long as you have a cruiser or another battleship by you, you should be able to handle most of what a Tier 10 carrier can throw at you. I mean, some planes will get through, depending upon if they just send all the little planes after you or whatnot, but it still has a pretty good AA. Yamato is slow and not very maneuverable, but like I said, you're going to be finding a nice spot for you to sit in this battleship. You're going to be going bow on to the enemy and just launching your 18-inch guns at them, laughing as you just erase their health. So my number 1 Tier 10 battleship, if you know anything about World Warships and what currently the 4 Tier 10 battleships are, you of course know what's coming next, is the Grosser Kurfürst. I really like this ship. I like this ship a lot. And the main thing about the Kurfürst is its secondaries. It's got a lot of them, and you can get these things up with the flag, with a secondary build, to 11.6 kilometers. And that is just amazing, and I always chuckle when they start going off on destroyers and cruisers on the other side of the cap circle from me, and they just don't stop. As far as the main battery goes, it has 12 420mm guns, which if you play the German battleships at all, you know the main guns aren't very accurate, and that trend continues here. However, you do have 3 guns per turret, and you're just launching so much firepower downrange that it helps just by having 12 guns, and you do hit more things in the ship. However, they only have a 20-kilometer range, which is the shortest by far out of all the Tier 10 battleships. All the other ones have at least a 23-plus kilometer range. So Tier 10 battles mostly start off as snipe-offs, and then they evolve into close quarters battles, which is what the Grosser Kurfürst is meant for, and it excels at that. It has a submerged citadel with turtleback armor, so it's hard to citadel. You won't get citadel in this thing unless you are turning hard and someone blasts your underbelly, or you get hit by plunging fire at long ranges. Her main weaknesses is the torpedo protection. She only gets 27% damage reduction from torpedoes, which is bad. Cruisers have better torpedo protection than that. However, you do get hydroacoustic search and a spotter or a fighter plane. It has the biggest health pool out of all the Tier 10 battleships, 105,800 hit points. She is very tanky. It's amazing with a secondary build and adrenaline rush. Those secondaries will be going off all the time, chewing up cruisers and destroyers, and just setting battleships on fire. It's a glorious sight when you're in the middle of a battle and all your secondaries are just going off. So that's my list. It's a short list. It's not a very in-depth look. If you want a more in-depth look, let me know in the comments below. I will go more in-depth with these 4 Tier 10 battleships. And a reminder, this is just all my opinion. I'm not saying this is the definitive guide to Tier 10 battleships and wood warships. This is just for me playing these ships and my opinion on them. I know I was harsh on Conqueror, but I think most people agree that it is at least a tad OP and needs a little dial down in the HE spam department. But yeah, like I said, again, this is just my opinion. It's all my opinion. You can agree, you can disagree. That's how people are. If you like the video, leave a like, and please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one.
The ship is on fire!